8:45 p.m. This is the Sri Lanka Broadcasting Corporation. The news, edited by Lakshman Fonseca and read by Mario Vijayawardena. The headlines. The President admires the services rendered by the Most Venerable Dodampahala Chandrasiri Mahanayaka Thera. Landslide early warnings issued for several areas in the Galla district. The Education Ministry says that the ministry does not issue letters to enroll students to intermediate classes. The Finance Ministry introduces new conditions for public servants to go abroad for work. Minister Manusha Nanayakara says the government is ready to promptly send job candidatures quickly to South Korea. Scientists predict global warming set to break key 1.5 degrees Celsius limit for the first time. Issuing a message of condolence, President Ranil Wickremesinghe admires the services rendered by the Most Venerable Dodampahala Chandrasiri Mahanayaka Thera. The President says the Most Venerable Dodampahala Chandrasiri Thera has produced a generation of well-deserved, well-disciplined Buddhist monks for the betterment of the Buddha Sasana. The President added that the Mahanayaka Thera bravely expressed his views in the face of social or any national issue. Addressing the gathering, the Prime Minister Dinesh Gunawardena said that the Mahanayaka Thera set an example for all the religious leaders. The final rites of the chief prelate of the Amarapura Mahanikaya Agga Mahapandita, the Most Venerable Dodampahala Chandrasiri Mahanayaka Thera, took place at the Independence Square at 3 p.m. with full state honours. The Mahasangha and other religious leaders and the Prime Minister Dinesh Gunawardena and several other parliamentarians too participated in the state function. The National Building Research Organisation, the NBRO, has issued landslide early warnings to several areas in the Galla district. Accordingly, a Level 1 yellow warning has been issued to the Baddegama, Alpitiya, Nagoda and Yakkalamula Divisional Secretariat divisions and its surrounding areas for a period of 24 hours until 8 a.m. tomorrow. The NBRO urges the people living in the landslide susceptible areas to be extra vigilant and to be ready to move quickly to safe locations if heavy rain continues. The Education Ministry says that the ministry does not issue letters to enroll students to intermediate classes. The ministry also said a downloadable application has been published on the ministry's official website. The ministry instructs the parents and the duly filled applications that they should be sent by registered post to the preferred school. By the circular issued to all schools, the ministry has advised the school principals to make their selections according to the number of student vacancies. The principals are also instructed to follow a certain marking scheme, the ministry said. However, the name list of the selected students should be sent by the schools to the Education Ministry for approval. This news broadcast comes to you from the Sri Lanka Broadcasting Corporation. The Finance Ministry introduces new conditions to public servants to go abroad for work for a maximum of 5 years on no-pay leave. According to the new Finance Ministry circular, dated the 17th of May, public servants can only obtain no-pay leave to go abroad for work if they have completed half or more of their mandatory service or contractual period. The ministry said employees must also have sufficient time left to complete their mandatory service or contractual period before they retire after returning to the country. However, there were no such restrictions in the earlier Finance Ministry circular dated the 22nd of August 2022. The fresh circular also noted that those who go abroad for work under this scheme would not have their seniority or pensions affected by their absence. The Minister of Labour and Foreign Employment, Manusha Nanayakara, says that the government is ready to send Korean job candidates quickly to South Korea. He says 2,726 Sri Lankans have already left to South Korea for job opportunities within the past 5 months. The minister said the employees are working in the manufacturing, fishing and construction industries today. The minister said that the necessary steps have already been taken to prevent the delays in applying for visas for Korean job seekers and for that the Foreign Employment Bureau has been audited and measures have been taken to provide them with targets and incentives. The minister further said that a new centre with more facilities will be provided for conducting Korean exams and that he is negotiating with the Korean Human Resources Department to increase Korean job opportunities in the coming year.
The main news story is brought to you by Siddhalepa Vedamahatmya.
President Ranil Wickremesinghe says the process of re-establishing the economic stability of the country is now being carried out following a systematic management procedure. He says the IMF has assisted to rebuild the economy. Even though the IMF had imposed strict rules and conditions, the country has no other option than the IMF backing. The president expected that the economy of the country will be able to bring back to a better stage when the debt restructuring program is fruitful by the next September era. The president made these remarks at an opening ceremony of a water supply scheme in the Aranayaka area today. The president also said that it is a duty of every Sri Lankan to contribute to creating a glorious and prosperous country.
The main news story was brought to you by Siddhalepa Vedamahatmya.
And now in Watchlight, the Health Promotion Bureau advises the public against consuming non-steroidal anti-inflammatory drugs NSAID in the event of continuing fever or prior to checking the cause of the illness. A representative of the Bureau warned that the public that there was a significant increase in dengue cases and dengue-related deaths in Sri Lanka at present. The official revealed that several dengue-related deaths had been caused due to the consumption of painkillers. The official also requested the public to refrain from using NSAID-type medicines instead of paracetamol and to question their doctors when prescribed painkillers for fevers. That came to you in Watchlight. In World News Headlines. Japan riot police pin G7 protesters to ground in violent scuffle. Record numbers not working due to ill health in the UK. Scientists predict global warming set to break key 1.5 degrees Celsius limit for the first time. Violence broke out on the sidelines of the G7 summit in Hiroshima as riot police wrestled people protesting the meeting of world leaders. The police could be seen pinning protesters to the ground on Sunday after a brawl broke out. The demonstration was organized by the far-left extremist Revolutionary Communist League National Committee, which renounces G7 summit as a conference of imperialism for nuclear war. The G7 comprises of the US, the UK, Canada, France, Germany, Italy and Japan, and 8 other nations have been invited this year. They are meeting to discuss the war in Ukraine and other foreign policy points, including their relationships with China. The number of people not working in the UK due to long-term sickness has risen to a new record, official figures show. More than 2.5 million are not working due to health problems, the Office for National Statistics said. It blamed an increase in mental health issues in younger people and people suffering back and neck pain, possibly due to home working, for the rise. Typically, for every 13 people currently working, one person is long-term sick. Since the start of the COVID-19 pandemic, there were well over 400,000 more people outside of the labour market due to ill health. Darren Morgan, Director of Economic Statistics at the ONS, told the BBC. The overheating world is likely to break a key temperature limit for the first time over the next few years, scientists predict. Researchers say there is now a 66% chance we will pass a 1.5 degrees Celsius global warming threshold between now and 2027. The chances are rising due to emissions from human activities and likely El Niño weather pattern later this year. If the world passes a limit, scientists stress the breach, while worrying, will likely be temporary. Breaking the limit even for just 1 year is a worrying sign that warming is accelerating and not slowing down. The 1.5 degrees Celsius figure has become a symbol of global climate change negotiations. Countries agreed to pursue efforts to limit global temperature rises to 1.5 degrees Celsius under the 2015 Paris Agreement. And now the main points of the World News segment once again. Japan riot police pin G7 protesters to the ground in violent scuffle. Record numbers not working due to ill health in the UK. Scientists predict global warming set to break key 1.5 degrees Celsius limit for the first time.
Development News.
Information technology and artificial intelligence will be introduced to the school curriculum in 2024. The Minister of Education, Susil Premajan, says that the pilot project will be implemented in the next month in a group of 20 selected schools. Minister Premajan further added that action has already been taken to enhance the English knowledge of the students. Accordingly, Grade 1 students learn oral English as a subject from the year 2023. This program focuses on improving the speech skills of the students, he added. That was development news, and now in sports news. The domestic cricket tournament conducted by Sri Lanka Cricket will start next month. The tournament will see 22 teams in action divided into 4 groups. Defending champions Army SC are in Group A along with Panadura SC, Air Force SC, Police SC, NCC and Chilao Mariand. Runners-up Coles are in Group B, along with Ragama CC, Sebastian Isnigod SNWC, and Bloomfield Valleys Capital SSC, Tamil Union Badarali SC, and Karunagara C are in Group C. The 6 teams in Group D are BRC, Moors, Gala CC, Triple C, Candy Customs and Negombo CC. Sri Lanka Cricket tournament was positioned to end on the 11th of June, and the Premier League 3-day tournament scheduled to start from the June week of the 16th. The tournament will come to a halt temporarily due to the Lanka Premier League and will continue after September 10th. Meanwhile, SLC has finalized arrangements to hold the Schools Cricket Awards to felicitate talented school cricketers to be held for the first time. The domestic tournament calendar will come to an end with the Premier Limited Over tournament scheduled for October, Sri Lanka Cricket added.
Go ekak tiyana youth eකට life එකේ change එකට නියමෙට set වෙන්න ඇස් වහගෙන දැකපු ගීන හැබැයි කරන්න youth එකට නියමෙට set වෙන friendship එක මෙන්න.
The all new NSB Ithru account, NSB IM, a plan for your dream.
Business News, sponsored by National Savings Bank, the safest place for your money.
Malaysian carrier Batik Air resumed daily services from Kuala Lumpur International Airport to the Bandaranaike International Airport in Colombo. This service would be operated using the carrier's brand new Boeing 737-800 aircraft. The carrier's Boeing 737-800 has 2 configurations. One is a single-class configuration with an all-economy class cabin with 180 seats in a 3-3 layout. The second configuration has 12 seats in the business class cabin in a 2-2 layout and 150 seats in the economy cabin with a typical 3-3 layout.
Business News, sponsored by National Savings Bank, the safest place for your money.
Go ekak tiyana youth එකට life එකේ change එකට නියමෙට set වෙන්න ඇස් වහගෙන දැකපු ගීන හැබැයි කරන්න youth එකට නියමෙට set වෙන friendship එක මෙන්න.
The all new NSB Ithru account, NSB IM, a plan for your dream.
Economic news, courtesy of...
For the 5th consecutive year, LOLC is awarded People's Financial Services Brand of the Year at the 2022 Slim Kantar People's Awards. As the People's Financial Services Brand of the Year, LOLC continues to place the customer first, and this has won the hearts, minds and trust of Sri Lankans, with yet another prestigious award as proof of this lasting commitment. LOLC, imagine the possibilities.
The USAID Climate Adaptation Project and the CBL Group have signed an agreement to help thousands of smallholder farmers across 3 districts to practice climate-smart agriculture. Under an MOU signed recently, the Colombo-based company will disseminate customized crop advisories and other agricultural inputs to more than 12,000 farmers in the Anuradhapura, Badulla and Monragara districts. The partnership will also support climate-smart agriculture that improves the productivity of 5 of 15 priority crops identified by the government's Economic Revitalization Program.
LOLC Finance is taking the power of innovation to the next level, winning 5 golds at the Technovation Awards 2022, leading the digital revolution with cutting-edge interbanking digital payments. LOLC Finance claims the overall gold award whilst also claiming an extraordinary victory in digital banking.
Weather report.
The Met Department has issued an amber advisory for heavy rains in the Western Province and in the Ratnapura, Gala and Mathura districts effective until 8:30 a.m. tomorrow. The Met Department notes that the showery condition is expected to continue over the southwestern part of the island. Strong winds above 40 km per hour can be expected at times over the Northern Province and in the Anuradhapura and Puttalama districts. The sea areas off the coast extending from Puttalama to Kankasanturai via Mana and the sea areas off the coast extending from Hambantota to Pothuville will be rough at times. The sea areas off the coast extending from Puttalama to Hambantota via Colombo and Gala will be fairly rough. Temporarily strong gusty winds and very rough sea areas can be expected during the thunder showers. And now the main points of this news broadcast once again. The President admires the services rendered by the most venerable Dodampahala Chandrasiri Mahanayaka Thera. Landslide early warnings issued for several areas in the Gala district. The Education Ministry says that the ministry does not issue letters to enroll students to intermediate classes. The Finance Ministry introduces new conditions for the public servants to go abroad for work. Minister Manusha Nanyakara says the government is ready to send job candidates quickly to South Korea. Scientists predict global warming set to break key 1.5 degrees Celsius limit for the first time. That concludes this news broadcast. You're with Radio Sri Lanka.